Welcome to the Clashing of Steel. And today I am the last survivor. The biggest problem I face is that I am tier 5 in a match where there are tier 7s. I accidentally picked tier 5 units when my party member was tier 6, making me the lowest tier on this match. But fortunately I did pick catapults. So starting off, this AFK player pretty much costed us some archers. But fortunately we did get to kill the horseman. It looks so familiar. Charge into opponents and then leave the game. Even if you need to go, if you need to DC, there is no point in sending your units head on in. Just leave them in your base. Someone will eventually take control of it. Usually they aren't the smartest players who do. But as long as they exist, they can be the final units to kill off any stragglers, chase down archers at the end of the match, or anything like that. Because in worst case, they're gonna end up in a similar situation what happened here. They're gonna charge head on in with all 3 units and die. But they might also be used at key locations where actually some support is needed. Because simply they're gonna be wasted in worst case, and in best case they're gonna be used to make that extra stretch for the victory. What I actually hate about this match is that we are pushing so heavily and so deep into enemy territory. And because I have limited range, and well, the opponents aren't coming towards me, I have to move closer to them. The biggest problem for me, or in general, is that we are pushing so heavily. I mean, we also have ranged units, and we could kite them into our territory and harass them, or even destroy them. But the unnecessary offense is probably going to cost us more than it's gonna cost to them. And moving closer to the opponent's base is something that I actually don't want to be doing. I mean, we have pretty much left our base undefended. And this heavy offense has left our sides exposed. Even here in the middle, there are archers, light artilleries and wardog handlers. The swordsmen have suffered already because they came through the mid. The light artillery pretty much wrecked them, and well, indeed they are close to the light artillery and to the archers, but they're practically going deep and alone into enemy territory. This is the unnecessary aggression. Okay, it would have been acceptable if you would have had some support. If somebody would have just covered its sides. But there are swordsmen here, there are cavalries and the archers in the forest, and he's the only one pretty much pushing through the mid. I'm quite certain if he would have used the same area as we did, as the cavalry and the archers did, he would have been able to flank and support everything there. But going through the mid, he just took so much unnecessary damage. And it also appears that our opponents had a lot of defensive positions taken. Which also means that a lot of them have the defensive advantage. But at least these swordsmen caused a bit of confusion and forced the opponents to, well, retreat. But I do think they chose a horrible direction to do that. Because there are swordsmen in the middle behind whom the archers could have hidden. I'm not saying that the swordsmen would have defended them, but at least they would have had better chances. They had no vision to the side of their base, to the west side. The side from where the archers and cavalry came. By the bad choice of these archers, they lost 2 players. The war dogs or the handlers didn't want to go this way. The handlers wanted to retreat closer to the light artillery, to the swordsmen. But because archers chose this way, they are now all pretty much dead. I also fear that their light artillery is focusing the wrong way, the wrong targets. Because the light artillery could have wreaked havoc upon that engagement which was so heavily failed by their archers. These are the further away opponents. They shouldn't be as important. There are so many troops left on that side. But when we take a look at the light artillery side, we see that they have pretty much lost it. They have missed the key moments, they could have supported a bit extra, and are now suffering at the hands of the cavalry. Although it may appear that we are winning, I just want to note that I am the weakest tier on this match. And well, look at that, I'm just in range. Although we are advancing to their base, I am afraid that we are a bit too spread. The east side seems to be outnumbered, and well, the west side currently seems to be okay. But when our team members should fall on the other side, everything and everyone will be firing upon us. The best thing we can currently do is try and kill the archers and kill these swordsmen. If we can kill them all in time, we might actually be able to defend against everything else they can throw at us. I'm trying to fire my catapult the best I can to weaken these swordsmen, to weaken anyone for that matter. But it seems he made a clever trick, pulling opponents away from the side of the building and forcing them to fight on two different sides. As great as it may be, there is also another problem. Everything is fine here, but there are opponents coming this way, especially the cavalry and some swordsmen soon as well. And we actually don't have the numbers to take them all down. Plus the archers are pretty much defenseless. And here they go. It is so funny how I'm barely in range and I'm being really capable. I usually don't play catapults because it seems a bit too easy. It isn't so hard as it would be to manage everything with the infantry to defend at the same time. But at least we're doing somewhat well. I mean, we still have cavalry left, we have swordsmen left. Plus, I'm barely in range, which means I can support them. Although I kind of feel that we might have been a bit unnecessarily aggressive here. There are a lot of opponents left and I am barely at my range. Now this is going to be a bit annoying. They are pretty much engaged right around here, and this is pretty much my max range. And as you saw there, I did some friendly fire. That is what I am afraid of. It is at so max range that I might actually do more harm than good. But I have to take the risk because the opponents actually outnumber us. They have more men left than we do. And these stacked swordsmen are actually holding up pretty well. So friendly archers are gonna suffer a bit more. Horsemen decided to go and help the fighting infantry, hoping to rout them. But unfortunately this small stacking seems to give a slight morale boost and, well, they don't seem to be routing as easily. And there are even more opponents moving to the defense of their base. I am actually slightly panicking because I know they're gonna overwhelm us, they're gonna outnumber us, and, well, these swordsmen are hugging the stakes. Lovely. I can be honest, everything right here is gonna pretty much die. All the friendly infantry, horsemen, archers, everything. And I will be left to clean up this mess, which actually is a fucking horrible idea. So now I have to use all the vision I have, everything I can see, to weaken opponents as much as I can. Because the moment I am left without vision, that is the moment I fear the most. They have a lot of troops left, and I only have 1 unit of swordsmen and 2 units of catapults, who of course themselves can't defend in melee combat. So my current best target is probably this blob of units. Not caring about friendly fire because majority of these troops are opponents. And, well, this is probably one of the more intense battles I have had. I am at the low end of the tier pole and pretty much have only 1 infantry unit left to fight against everyone else. I wasn't expecting for this match to rely so heavily upon me and my catapults. And, well, the vision will soon be lost. I need to make all the difference that I can, and the swordsmen, my friendly swordsmen, aren't making it easier for me. They're fighting pretty much at my maximum range, and because of that, I am having slight trouble shooting there. But as usual, I found myself some new friends. Whoever had the idea of adding stakes to this game was a tactical genius. And, well, as usual, 10 go in, 1 comes out. Stakes are the only things keeping me alive. Opponents just need to regroup and attack me. That is also my biggest fear. I am left in the dark with 2 catapults and 1 unit of swordsmen. Swordsmen can be useful, but what am I supposed to do with catapult units? I still have to cover my front, because that is the main area, that is the key location I need to defend. Stakes will defend me from the sides and perhaps even slightly from the rear. So it's time to shoot in the dark. I'm probably not gonna hit anyone because, let's be honest, I was focusing around the cavalry and any idea of how and where they might come was lost the moment I had to switch my focus. I am actually hoping and trying to keep my swordsman a bit to the right side of the bushes so I can see out and hopefully notice something that is coming for me. But at the same time, I'm also thinking if they're going to cap, because that would be one of the more logical things to do. Or if they're just gonna rely upon their greed. I honestly am confused right now. I don't know where they are. Although I can see right and left side of the bushes, I can't see forward and backward. Perhaps I should have shot a bit more in the dark, hoping to find where their infantry is moving in. But it's actually a bit late already. In a matter of seconds, yeah, here it is, the first infantries appear. Vercingetorix throwing down its Scorched Earth. Fortunately, he is a bit confused how and where to use Scorched Earth, so I pretty much avoid two of them. Although the third one is going to land straight upon me, they don't have that many soldiers left, so I can pretty much ignore it. And now once again I'm thinking this is pretty much over. They're going to surround me. That these are coming in from the side, cavalry is coming in from the rear, and something is coming in from the front. I'm gonna stack my units and focus the side and slightly the rear, because I know the only cavalries they have left are the ones that just passed through here. But what I actually fear are the remaining forces. I know they have total of 5 units of swordsmen and 2 units of cavalry. Cavalry was just here, and well, the swordsmen are fortunately far away, as I see it here for a moment, and the riders are committing suicide. So as long as I can deal with Vercingetorix and the horsemen, I can disengage and outrun my opponents. But unfortunately, they made a little surprise for me by retreating. I'm guessing that the defiance ended and the swordsmen couldn't stay engaged, while the horsemen tried to go after my artillery units. So I can't actually retreat without exposing myself. And well, that pretty much ruins my first set of plans, hoping to kill the cavalry and the barbarians. But instead, I'm pretty much forced to defend this same location with the defensive stakes at my side. Opponents could have killed me in so many different ways. They could have just let their catapults harass me, they could have swarmed me, they could have surrounded me and destroyed the stakes. But instead, they pretty much chose to come after me one by one, making it a lot easier for me to defend this location. Even now, they actually had chances against me. The barbarians would have just had to move 1 or 2 of the swordsmen a bit more to the right, and they could have caused my unit to rout. But instead, my unit is suffering heavy moral damage and is still fighting against them. So the fight is pretty much over. I will kill all the swordsmen here. I will send my catapult units to find the opposing catapult and rout him. And I will outrun the last swordsman. So it is funny how it all relied upon my shoulders. I basically did only offense score. Some friendly fire as well, but mostly offense score. Considering that I was the lowest tier in my team and I managed to make this game into victory against overwhelming numbers, I am extremely happy with my score and the outcome of the battle. But it is just painful to see how well my opponents, or how easily my opponents could have defeated me. But I just don't understand how their top 3 players in this match ended up losing against me in the very end. Sulla was with the last horseman. Vercingetorix, well, he was with his Scorched Earth and swordsman. And Germanicus was the one who was engaging me from the front while I almost routed. So I'm guessing this shows that score does not reflect your skill. So I was the last survivor. Anyways, don't forget to subscribe and thanks for watching.